When the northern winds howl across China's frozen plains and temperatures plunge far below zero, something remarkable happens. In villages and ancient towns, warmth doesn't come from gas or electricity, it comes from ingenuity. For thousands of years, the Chinese have heated their homes using nothing but fire, earth, stone, and clever design. These methods aren't relics of the past, they're living lessons in resilience and sustainability. From the glowing kang bed stoves of Manchuria to the quiet hum of charcoal braziers in old Beijing courtyards, every flicker of heat tells a story of adaptation. They survived dynasties, blizzards, and blackouts, and they still work today. So how did entire families stay warm through brutal winters without a single modern appliance? Well, what secrets lie hidden in the architecture, the ash, and the embers of old China? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see warmth not as technology, but as tradition. This is how the Chinese heat their homes without gas or electricity. In the biting cold of northern China, where winter can stretch for half a year and snow hardens into glass, warmth isn't just comfort, it's survival. Imagine a home lit by a single fire, its smoke curling beneath the floor, spreading unseen heat through bricks and clay. This is the kang, a masterpiece of ancient engineering, both bed and stove, a living furnace that has kept generations alive. The kang was born over 2,000 years ago in the Yellow River Basin, a region where wood was scarce and winters were merciless. Farmers and builders learned to channel the heat from a kitchen stove through tunnels carved beneath a raised brick platform. The smoke would snake its way under the bed before escaping through a chimney, warming the surface stone by stone. Families would gather there to eat, talk, and sleep, sharing not only space, but warmth itself. Its survival secret lies in the earth. The kang is built from thick bricks and clay, materials that store heat like a battery. Once warmed, it can stay hot for hours, sometimes until morning, without another flame. The design wastes nothing. Even the energy from cooking rice or boiling tea feeds into comfort. But the kang is more than a heater, it's a way of life. In northern homes, social life happens on the kang. Elders tell stories, children nap under quilts, and meals are shared over low tables placed on its surface. It is warmth turned into community, technology born from tradition. Even today, in rural areas of Heilongjiang or Inner Mongolia, the kang endures, updated with pipes and flues, but still true to its ancient soul. It's sustainable, efficient, and deeply human, proof that innovation doesn't always need electricity. As night falls and the wind howls beyond the paper windows, the kang glows softly beneath the blankets, a steady heartbeat in the cold. And while the family sleeps, the warmth lingers, quiet, patient, eternal. Yet beyond the kang's gentle heat, another flame once flickered across China's winters, portable, glowing red, and filled with smoke and ritual. The warmth of metal and ember, carried by hand, is the next story waiting to be told. The air is crisp in an old Beijing courtyard, frost clings to the tiled roofs, and your breath hangs white in the morning light. Inside, the chill lingers until a servant enters, carrying a round metal basin glowing faintly red. Within it, charcoal burns without flame, breathing a slow, steady heat. This is the huopen, the charcoal brazier, China's most intimate fire. Long before gas heaters or central radiators, the huopen was the heart of winter life. From the imperial palaces of the Forbidden City to humble tea shops and scholars' studios, its warmth united every class. It wasn't just a tool, it was ritual. Charcoal, carefully prepared and ignited until it burned clean, was arranged in a bowl of brass, copper, or clay. Once lit, it gave off gentle, smokeless heat for hours. Its secret lies in control. Charcoal burns not with flame, but with endurance. The glowing embers release heat slowly, without consuming much oxygen or producing thick smoke, perfect for enclosed rooms. In some homes, orange peels or herbs were sprinkled atop the coals to scent the air, blending warmth with fragrance. Families would gather around the brazier, warming hands and storytelling deep into the night. Scholars wrote poems beside it, sipping tea while the coals whispered softly. In wealthier homes, the brazier became an art form, crafted with carvings, inlaid metals, even jade stands, symbols of elegance and refinement. But for the poor, it was survival itself, one bowl of burning carbon against a sea of cold. Yet the huo pen carried both life and danger. Without proper ventilation, it could steal the air it gave warmth to, silent, invisible, deadly. And still, people trusted it, learned from it, mastered the balance between fire and breath. Today, the charcoal brazier remains a symbol of old China's grace, a slow, glowing echo of a time when warmth came from patience, not power. Some tea houses still light them in winter, their embers reflecting centuries of quiet endurance. But while the huo pen warmed rooms and hearts, others sought to warm the very ground beneath their feet, a feat of architecture and ingenuity that turned the earth itself into a living heater. The snow falls silently over the plains of Shaanxi, but inside a farmer's home, the floor itself breathes warmth. You step across the room, and the heat rises from beneath your feet, soft and steady, wrapping the air in quiet comfort. This is China's ancient secret of radiant heat. The heated brick floor, where fire flows beneath the home like blood through veins. Centuries ago, northern builders faced an unrelenting problem: how to survive sub-zero nights when fuel was scarce. The answer came from the same ingenuity that birthed the kang bed stove, but expanded across entire rooms. Beneath the floor, a labyrinth of flues connected to the kitchen stove or earthen hearth. As smoke and hot air traveled through these channels, they warmed the thick clay or brick slabs above, turning the ground into one vast heater. Its secret was balance. The floor was built to absorb heat during cooking and release it gradually for hours afterward. It was sustainable, efficient, and almost magical in its silence. The system used every bit of energy the fire produced, nothing wasted, everything shared. The same meal that filled the family's stomachs also filled the house with warmth. To walk barefoot on those floors after dark was to feel life itself, heat stored in stone, radiating long after the flames had died. Families spread their bedding across the warmest corners, children chasing the warmth like sunlight that never set. In the depths of winter, the home became an island of spring. These heated floors weren't just practical, they shaped culture. In many homes, the kitchen was the center of life, not just for food, but for warmth. Meals, rest, and family all revolved around the same fire. It was architecture rooted in empathy, in the understanding that comfort begins beneath your feet. Even today, in rural northern China, echoes of this ancient design remain. Modern radiant heating systems follow the same principle, proving that old ideas don't fade, they evolve. But while these homes turned stone into warmth, another invention looked to the earth itself, shaping clay and ash into something even simpler, yet just as vital: the humble stove that fed both the body and the flame. In a misty mountain village, dawn breaks to the crackle of wood and the low hum of fire. Inside a clay-walled kitchen, an old woman squats beside a stove molded straight from the earth itself. The smoke curls through a hole in the roof, the air thick with the scent of rice, ash, and warmth. This is the tuzao, the earthen stove, one of China's oldest and most ingenious sources of heat. Long before bricks or metal chimneys, the tuzao served as both hearth and heater. Built from packed clay, mixed with straw, it was sculpted by hand to fit the home, each curve and vent a product of generations of trial and memory. The fire that cooked the day's meals also warmed the house, its heat channeled through flues running beneath floors or along walls before drifting out as smoke. Nothing wasted, everything shared. Its survival secret lies in the earth itself. Clay absorbs heat slowly, then releases it long after the flames have gone out. Even a small fire could keep the room warm through the night. The stove's simple design meant it could be repaired with mud, built anywhere, and fueled with almost anything: twigs, straw, husks, even dried manure in hard times. The tuzao wasn't just a kitchen, it was the home's heart. Families gathered around it for meals, warmth, and conversation. Its fire symbolized prosperity, continuity, and care, the pulse of domestic life. In rural belief, the kitchen god, Zhao Jun, watched from this very hearth, recording each family's deeds for the heavens. To extinguish the stove's flame was unthinkable. It meant breaking the home's spirit. Even now, in China's countryside, many families still keep their tuzao not only for tradition, but for taste. Food cooked over earth and wood carries a depth no modern stove can mimic, a flavor of smoke, soil, and time. As night falls, the embers dim, but the clay walls stay warm, radiating a memory of fire. And beyond this simple hearth, another form of warmth once glowed in the darkness. Born not from wood or stone, but from rock itself, heated and cradled beneath the quilts of winter. In the frozen reaches of northern China, where the night wind howls like an animal and frost crawls along the windows, warmth once came not from flame, but from stone. Inside dim earthen homes, families would heat river stones in the hearth until they glowed with trapped fire. These stones, heavy and smooth, were then wrapped in cloth and slipped beneath quilts or placed inside wooden boxes. They turned the bed itself into a quiet furnace. This was the art of the warm stone bed, a simple, ancient miracle of comfort. Its origins stretch back thousands of years to regions where wood was precious and winters cruel. Stones, unlike fire, required no tending and gave off heat slowly through the long, silent hours of night. Their survival secret was their density. Once heated, they held warmth for hours, sometimes till dawn, releasing it gradually like a steady heartbeat. In mountain villages, people learned which stones held heat best: granite for endurance, river rock for gentleness, and treated them as old friends in winter's war. Beyond survival, the warm stone bed carried ritual meaning. Heating the stones was a nightly ceremony, a moment of family care. Parents would test the stones with their palms, wrapping them in rags before placing them near their children's feet. That small gesture, passing warmth from fire to stone, from hand to hand, became a symbol of love stronger than the cold. Even as modern blankets and electric pads replaced them, the memory of warm stones remains in the countryside, echoed in the rhythmic patience of those who still heat them during power cuts or long winters. In their silence, they remind us that warmth need not roar. It can hum softly beneath the sheets, ancient and enduring. But as the hearth cooled and dawn returned, another kind of warmth followed the people of China, not hidden in beds or walls, but glowing openly, carried from room to room, flickering like a small sun in the hands of winter itself. The winter air bites hard in the southern hills of China. It's not the sharp, dry cold of the north, but a damp, bone-deep chill that creeps through walls, settles in clothes, and clings to the soul. Yet inside a wooden home, something glows softly in the darkness, a basket filled with living fire. This is the huolan, the fire basket, an invention as simple as it is profound. For centuries, before electricity or gas, southern families waged war against the cold with nothing but coal, bamboo, and ingenuity. They wove baskets from split cane or crafted bowls of iron, filled them with ash, sand, and glowing charcoal. The result was a portable hearth, light enough to carry, safe enough to rest by one's knees, strong enough to hold the warmth of an entire night. The secret to its survival lies in patience. The basket doesn't burn, it breathes. Air seeps through the woven gaps, feeding the embers just enough to keep them alive, but not fierce. The ash insulates the coals, slowing their death, allowing them to release heat in a steady rhythm. It's a dance of balance, where too much air brings flame and too little snuffs it out. In the evenings, families gathered around the fire basket under heavy quilts, sharing roasted peanuts and whispered stories. Children warmed their hands, women mended clothes, and elders gazed into the glow, the red light painting their faces like living lanterns. The basket became both warmth and gathering, its flicker turning cold nights into memory. But the huolan was not just comfort, it was survival. During long winters and mountain rains, it dried damp clothes, heated food, and kept sickness at bay. Even travelers carried smaller versions on the road, wrapped in cloth to hold against their chests. It was fire-made human, gentle, loyal, and alive. Today in quiet villages and old tea houses, some still keep a huolan by their feet when the power fades. Its scent of smoke and ash lingers like nostalgia, proof that sometimes the simplest warmth burns the longest. And as the last ember fades, another kind of heat begins to shimmer, contained not in bamboo, but in metal, waiting to rest against the heart. The wind outside moans through the alleys of an old Chinese courtyard. Frost creeps along window lattices, and the moon glows pale over rooftops glazed with ice. Inside, an elderly scholar sits by candlelight, ink brush trembling in the cold. Then his servant arrives, carrying a bronze vessel steaming with life. He wraps it in cloth and tucks it beneath his robe. The chill retreats, replaced by a slow, golden warmth. This is the ancient hot water bottle, a simple miracle of metal and steam born long before rubber or electricity. In dynasties past, these vessels, made of copper, brass, or bronze, were called nuan shui ping, or warm water flasks. Some were shaped like flasks, others like flattened gourds or rounded discs. Wealthy families commissioned them with engraved dragons and cloud motifs. Peasants used humble clay or iron versions. Yet the purpose was the same: to capture fire's fleeting heat and hold it close to the human body. Its secret lies in conduction and containment. Water, when heated, stores thermal energy far more effectively than air. Poured into metal, it became a mobile sun, radiating steady warmth for hours. Wrapped in fabric or tucked beneath quilts, it transformed icy beds into havens. The ancient Chinese even used smaller versions as hand warmers, hidden within sleeves on long winter walks or placed under infants' blankets. These bottles were not just practical, they carried affection. In imperial courts, artisans refined them into works of art, some gilded, some enamel-painted, others fitted with handles and lids to keep steam sealed tight. In scholars' studies, they rested beside inkstones, ensuring that fingers could still hold the brush steady through bitter nights. Even today, echoes of the ancient nuan shui ping remain in every modern hot water bottle and electric blanket, a tradition reborn through technology. Its spirit endures, warmth made portable, personal, and human. But beyond the flicker of fire and the whisper of steam, another secret form of heat once existed, woven into the very garments of those who braved the cold, turning clothing itself into a living ember. The night wind sweeps across the Great Wall, carrying the sting of snow and silence. Soldiers stand guard in layers of wool and hemp, their breath rising in ghostly plumes. Yet beneath those heavy robes, a secret warmth flickers close to their skin, a tiny pouch of fire. This is the huodai, or fire bag, one of ancient China's most ingenious ways to wear heat itself. Long before electric warmers or insulated coats, people in northern and mountain regions learned to trap embers in small metal or clay containers and wrap them in cloth or leather. These were slipped beneath layers of clothing or tied around the waist to keep the body's core warm. In its simplest form, a huodai held a few glowing coals nestled in ash or sand, designed to smolder slowly without flame. It was portable fire, dangerous if mishandled, yet vital in freezing weather. The secret lay in moderation and craft. Too much air, and the embers flared. Too little, and they died. Skilled users learned to balance both, ensuring the warmth lasted through long journeys or nights on the watchtower. In some areas, women stitched pouches with embroidered covers to hold these heat vessels, turning survival into art. Travelers, soldiers, and farmers all depended on the huodai. In old manuscripts, scholars describe them as the warmth that follows the body, a quiet companion against the merciless cold. Some even perfumed the ash with herbs or dried flowers, blending comfort with fragrance. Beyond practicality, the fire bag symbolized perseverance. It embodied the idea that even a small flame, carefully guarded, could defy the coldest night. Parents would prepare them for their children before long winter journeys. Lovers gifted them as tokens of care, literal warmth shared between hearts. Though few still use huodai today, their spirit lives on in every pocket heater and rechargeable hand warmer. They remind us that innovation often begins with necessity, and that warmth in every age is something we carry with us. Yet for those who had no hearth or home, there was another refuge, one filled with steam, laughter, and the collective breath of a city's winter soul. Outside, the winter wind sweeps through the alleys of Old Harbin, turning the air sharp as glass. Breath freezes mid-air, doors stay sealed, but behind thick wooden walls and rising clouds of steam, laughter echoes. Inside, the chill vanishes. This is the bathhouse, once a cornerstone of northern Chinese life where warmth was not just survival, but community. Centuries before central heating or running water, people in China's colder provinces built public bathhouses heated entirely by fire. Beneath stone floors, large stoves roared, channeling their heat through flues that warmed every room. Boiling water filled great wooden tubs, steam clung to the ceiling, and the air shimmered like summer. For many, this was the only true refuge from the cold. Its survival secret lay in shared heat. By concentrating the warmth from one massive furnace into a single building, entire neighborhoods could enjoy comfort with minimal fuel. The walls trapped moisture and warmth. The steam itself softened the air, loosening muscles, easing breath, and thawing spirit. The bathhouse became both a physical and social hearth, where people not only bathed, but talked, ate, and rested together. In imperial times, even palaces had private steam chambers. In rural towns, the yutang or pingtang was the heart of winter life. Farmers came in from the fields, soldiers from their posts, scholars from their cold studies. Here, everyone was equal in the fog. Wealth dissolved, rank vanished, and humanity warmed side by side. Beyond hygiene, these bathhouses carried deep symbolism. To cleanse oneself in fire-heated water was to renew both body and soul, to shed the cold, the hardship, and start again. It was warmth made communal, where the heat of the fire joined the warmth of conversation. Even today, in China's northern cities, the tradition endures. Modern bathhouses hum with the same spirit. Steam rising, voices mingling, life thawing. In every exhale of warmth, you can still hear echoes of the old furnaces, the laughter of strangers turned kin by winter's mercy. And yet, long before such grand rooms of fire and steam, the Chinese had already mastered another kind of warmth. One built not on flame, but on design itself, where the very home became a living shield against the cold. In the heart of old Beijing, winter presses down like a silent weight. The wind cuts through the narrow hutongs, scattering dust and whispers. Yet behind thick gray walls, past a wooden gate adorned with red couplets, lies a world untouched by the cold, a Siheiyuan or traditional Chinese courtyard home. Here, warmth is not made by fire alone, but by design, harmony, and the wisdom of centuries. The Siheiyuan is an architectural poem written against the elements. For thousands of years, northern builders shaped these homes to defy harsh winters and sweltering summers alike. Every detail was purposeful. The outer walls, made of dense brick and clay, formed a thermal barrier, keeping cold air out and storing daytime heat. The courtyard faced south, drinking in the weak winter sun, while tall north-facing walls blocked the frigid northern winds. Its survival secret lies in unity. A Siheiyuan isn't a single house, it's a system. Each room connects along the courtyard's edges, sharing walls that retain warmth from adjacent fires or kang stoves. Wooden beams, clay tiles, and thick earthen floors work together like layers of a living organism, breathing warmth through structure rather than technology. Even the roof slopes and window lattices were designed to manage air and light, inviting comfort, conserving energy. But beyond architecture, the Siheiyuan embodied a deeper warmth. Family. Generations lived around the same courtyard, grandparents in the north wing, parents in the east and west, children playing under the open sky. In winter, meals cooked in the central kitchen sent gentle heat through shared walls. The courtyard became the soul of togetherness, where even in the coldest months, laughter echoed against sunlit stone. Today, many Siheiyuan have been modernized, their ancient designs adapted for urban life, yet their principles remain timeless. Passive heating, natural insulation, sustainable comfort without waste. Architects still study them as models of human-centered design long before the age of thermostats. As snow drifts softly onto curved tile roofs, a Siheiyuan stands firm, its walls breathing warmth, its courtyard glowing with memory. And as China's story of ancient heat comes to an end, one question lingers: how many of these old fires still live quietly beneath modern stone, waiting to be remembered? If you're interested to know more about the Chinese way of life, its culture, and tradition tested by time, check out this playlist right here.